Mama, you don't be playing in the booth, boy. You the best producer in the world. My people's father, fathers first. What up? All right, Seth, I see you. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. My man, my man. Sit back, relax. We about to have a good time. Oh, Rome, you dead serious. You actually on time tonight. Got your rookie on here. Welcome to episode 67 of the Positive Impact Podcast, where we talk about all topics relevant to the game I love. I am your host, Terrell Dozier, and tonight's episode is powered by the Fathers First Podcast, coming to you soon. If you don't follow them now on Instagram at Fathers First 2020, where they'll be talking about topics about everything to one of the most important things out there, and that's fatherhood right now, especially in today's age. So go follow my people. Thank you for the people. Thank you for the fresh sweatshirt. DM them if you want some merchandise from Fathers First. Go follow my boys, Rodney Crockett, Dwayne Golston, and Corey Golston. Support those that support you. And speaking of support, I'm excited tonight for my special guest. And every week I say I'm excited because I do. I love doing this every Friday, but this is a special one. You know what I'm saying? I've known this kid for a long time. Watched him grow into the incredible young man that he's become today. CEO of City of the Guards, Ali. There he is.
Yo.
Baby boy. Baby boy. All grown up. All grown
Right.
up. Still got that smile though.
Yeah, man,
Still
can't lose
got
that.
that smile, my man. Lot
Can't
to
lose
be
that.
happy
I'm
about.
grateful. I'm grateful for a lot. Can't lose that.
Oh, definitely, man. How you doing, man? Talk to me about how you and your family getting along during this pandemic.
We making it work, man. So it's a lot of juggling. Um, I'm working. Got the 3-year-old. My girlfriend Renee is working, so it's like it's a lot, man. It's a lot, from working FedEx to trying to teach her, her get her to read and get her to do addition, subtraction. It's a lot. So, but I'm blessed, man. Ever since March, I've been able to kind of be a lot more hands-on in terms of her, like my daughter's development. So I've been on it. You know what I'm saying? I've been on it. So she's developing well, man. So it's good to see. But it's tough, brother.
Yeah. Listen, I don't envy that at all.
Yeah,
I don't envy that at all, man.
yeah.
So I had some people ask me, like, when they saw the picture, like, is Lorenz Tate coming on? Is it Laz Alonso from Stomp the Yard? I'm like, listen.
What is it? Low dog? Low
Yeah.
dog with the single braids?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Nah, man.
Nah, but let's get
You know
into it.
what's funny though? I get that a lot. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
They call me what's his name from Power? What's his name in Power? He's in Power, Lorenz
Oh,
Tate.
the little kid?
Nah. Lorenz Tate is in Power.
Oh, I don't even know. I haven't watched Power.
Oh, okay.
I never
He's in that.
watched it.
He's in that. So they be calling me I forgot his name. It's
Yeah.
something. Councilman Tate.
Okay. Oh man. So let's get right into it, man. Springfield, Massachusetts, the birthplace of basketball, man, and we'll tie that in a little bit later, man. But talk about coming up in Springfield, Massachusetts, and how you fell in love with this game that you're still doing so much with.
Yeah. I mean, Springfield, obviously people don't, they might not know, they might know, but it's the birthplace of basketball. So it has like a big, culture on basketball. We don't have a lot of, people that went big time with it, but within the city, there's a huge love for basketball and there's a big community there. So, when I was coming up, early on coming up, it was this place where we called the Mecca. It was Dunbar. And that's kind of where, a lot of the players from Springfield, if you played there, you felt like you was like on that top team within the city. So I played there, you know what I mean? I played there ever since I've been playing ball ever since I was, 6 years old. You know what I mean? My older brothers played, my sisters played. So, it was kind of like something that I was born into. And I just, ever since 6 years old, I just love ball, whether it's competing, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's making relationships from it, whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's within Springfield, it's a big love for basketball. We got the Hall of Fame there. You know what I'm saying? If you see the shirt.
Right.
It's a love, man. So yeah, that's where the love came from.
So at what age did you feel like, man, I can be pretty good? Like you kind of felt like you were good. Like, was there an age, was there a moment where you felt like I can really do something with this game?
Mm-hmm. I would say I was like 14 and I went to a 5-star camp, my first 5-star camp. And I got there, we get there. This is like, how they do it in the cabins. 5-star using the cabins. I think it was in Pennsylvania. And this is my first time like really outside of Springfield for ball, for something on my own and just like with the dogs. So it's like we got there, like all the other kids got there from like Mass, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and then we see like 4 or 5 buses pull up. And we're like, yo, who is this, yo? So then, off the buses, it's all the New York, New Jersey, Maryland. All these kids come pull up. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, once we saw them come off the bus, I'm like, yeah, it's about to get real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm playing against like Kyle Lowry. He's my year. Kyle Lowry. I'm playing against what's his name? His name is Benjamin. He went to Pitt. I'm playing against a lot of the top D1 guards at that time in my age group. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, I gotta hold my own. I gotta compete. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who they are, what the name they got following. I gotta compete. So, you know, I did well. You know, I held my own. Nobody, you know, really went to work on me. You know what I'm saying? I competed. I got that year I didn't win anything, but you know how it is when you were underdog. You feel like nobody's scoring on you. You making the right plays. I was doing the right things. So I felt like I did well. You know what I mean? For my age. So when I came back to Springfield, I just felt like, you know, my confidence level definitely took a rise, a jump up. And at that time, it was like, you know, that's when you really got to start taking it serious and putting a little more work into your game if you want to be like a scholarship player. So after that, it just kind of set me on a path where it was like, all right, I'm going to try to at least get a scholarship for basketball.
Right.
So I played at like 14 years old at 5-star camp. That was that moment. You know what I'm saying?
So getting ready to go into high school, right? So did you have a choice of where you wanted to go? You know what I mean? So the one thing I knew about Springfield was Springfield Central, Travis Best. You know, we talked about that. We talked about Desi Jackson and stuff like that. So you went to a charter school. How did you get led to a charter school? Was that your parents' decision or?
Yeah. So it was my mother's, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? My father, he passed away when I was 4, you know what I mean? Rest in peace. And then my mother was there and she raised all of us. Like, I was homeschooled until 7th grade.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So my mother, she was always like, she was real, not protective, but just like, she was a teacher in the public school system. So she was like, all right, listen, I know what they're going to provide. Like, I can do better. You know what I mean? So she always like taught her kids. But then she realized like, yo, it's got to be a basketball sports piece to it. So she let me go to public school. Well, not public school, charter school. So that school was only accepting 7th graders. And she put me in the leadership charter school, which is the school. And, you know, they were going to go up every year and add a grade. You know what I mean? I joined at 7th. I was the first class. So 8th grade, 9th grade, I went all the way through. And going into high school, it was like, you know, I would go to other high schools pickups and play with other high schools in tournaments. And it was like, I should be playing varsity. You know what I mean? Like, I'm playing against varsity guards as a 7th, 8th grader. And I'm like, yo, I should be playing varsity as a freshman. That should be, you know what I'm saying? No questions asked. Like, so I get to new leadership, my 9th grade year, they telling us we're going to have a team. We don't have a team. 9th grade year. So we're playing against freshmen. And for me, it's like, it's not developing me. You know what I'm saying? So 10th grade comes, I'm thinking about transferring. 10th grade year passes. No, nothing. We playing against B. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just sitting back like, oh man, am I doing this right? But not knowing because nobody's been through it. And then, you know, 11th grade year comes, we get like 10 games, 10 varsity games. You know what I'm saying? So I played 10 varsity games my junior year. And then my senior year, we get a full schedule. And that's when I met Jerome. Rome came on and helped us out, which is, you know, a blessing. And that senior year, we made it to the state finals. Full schedule first year for a year. So it's like I didn't have a say in it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know. I didn't know the ropes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know the recruiting ropes. I wasn't getting put in the right position. So it was my high school career was different. It was different, brother.
So let me get this right. So you played 10 varsity games your junior year.
Yeah.
And then you played a full schedule your senior year. So basically you played like one, not even a quarter of a season, varsity level.
I played probably like 30, I want to say like 34 games in my high school career.
And I think that's impressive because you're a 1,000 point scorer at your school, the first ever there. And we ain't talking about playing varsity for 4 years, so it showed what kind of player you were. And you brought up, you know, my friend Jerome Greer, who you met. And, you know, I remember Rome saying, you know, listen, man, there's this kid, Rel, and he know I love ball. And, you know, he was always talking about how heady you were, but not just, you know, it wasn't about you on the court. It was how you carried yourself, period. and you still carry yourself that way to this day. So I know he jumped in and got, and got involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so talk about the experience of making your college decision to attend Bentley University. How did that come about?
Yeah. So like I said, I didn't really, nobody in my family went through it. You know what I mean? In terms of being looked at as a scholarship player. So I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have a good understanding of, you know what I mean? How I should go about it. You know what I mean? Where I should put myself to get a scholarship. So when I was a senior, that's when Jerome came in, Jerome Greer, and then he literally was like, yo, I'm calling around all these schools, because you guys played at Bryant. So he's like, I'm gonna call all these D2 schools. You know what I mean? At the time I had before, like going into my senior year, I had like a lot of Division III schools reaching out to me. You know what I mean? And then in my head, I'm like, nah, I gotta get a scholarship. I ain't trying to pay. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that my mom beat in my head, because she put my oldest sister and my brother through school. She paid for it. And she told me, she was like, listen, I can't, if you don't get a scholarship, I can't help you.
Right.
So in my head, I'm just thinking scholarship. Right. So Rome came in, and he kind of was bringing me around and reaching out to all the NE10 schools, Bryant, Merrimack, Bentley, Southern New Hampshire, all these schools. So then I remember he picked me up from my house. He brought me to Bentley. And, I'm not knowing anything. I'm just thinking I'm going to play pickup. You know what I mean? So I get in the gym. He brings me to the gym. All their players are there. So I just hop in and play pickup with the team. Mind you, I hold my own, do my thing. And then at the end, the coach brings me up brings me upstairs and offers me a scholarship right there. Like, he didn't go to any of my games. I never talked to him my whole high school career. And then I went play pickup, and he offered me a scholarship right there. So it was like, literally Jerome put me in the right places to get a scholarship. You know what I'm saying? So after that, what's crazy though is I started playing AAU with TJ Gassinola.
Yes.
Players, him. Yeah. So I ended up playing with him for like 2 or 3 tournaments. And then after Bentley, after I went up to Bentley, he offered me the scholarship. And I said, yo, listen, let me get like 3 weeks, because I knew I was going to play with TJ. So I started playing with TJ, and then I started getting some low D1 interest, like St. Peter's, a couple other like schools in that division. And, I went back to my mother. She was like, yo, Bentley's offering a scholarship. You got to go. So I was like, all right, whatever. Let me just go. I'm going to Bentley. Yeah. And that's how I decided, man. So it was like, it's not the norm, man. It's not, it wasn't the norm.
Now it's a little bit different now, you know what I mean? Like social media and everything with kids right now. So, and if you don't know from an early age, then you can kind of get lost, So fortunately for you, Jerome was able to use his experience and,
right.
Having gone through it, like we did. And, we're able to steer through a road. And like you said, meeting people, basketball allows you to meet people, allows you to network. So Rome was able to make those calls for you, and everything seemed to work out. So this is kind of like my favorite part. You know what I mean? Like I got student athletes that I deal with all the time, and everybody wants the scholarship. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to pay for school. I ain't want to pay for school, but there's something that comes with that, and it's called waiting your turn. Okay, so people think about it, right? People want to go, right? You used to playing and being a man in high school,
right?
But regardless of where you go, whether it's Division III, Division II, or Division I, you might have to wait your turn. Everybody don't just get a chance to come in and start right away, even though you feel like you might. There's a pecking order, and there's a culture already established there,
right?
And so, talk about that adjustment from going to, like we said, being a 1,000 point scorer at your school, playing all the time, holding my own, going here and feeling like you could play and not playing in a quality program. Let me say that, in a quality basketball program.
Right. Nah, it was such a learning curve for me, like going to Bentley. You know what I mean? Because coming from where I went, it was, you know, I never had a trainer, you know what I mean? Like a personal trainer. I never had, you know, my high school coach, but before Rome got there, it was just kind of just pickup, you know, at practice. Who had the best press? You know what I mean? So I never really had like, I never really went through like a legit practice. You know what I mean? Like a legit practice, like, yo, body language got to be on point. This got to be on point. Everything got to be on point. Like, so I never had that. So when I went to Bentley, it was just culture shock. It was just culture shock, man. You know, I'm the only brother on the team, only black dude on the team. You know what I mean? Like all good dudes, every coach is a good dude, players, you know, but it's just me. Like I never, the most I've been around, you know, was playing in 5-star with a white kid. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was culture shock. So when I got there, you know, I'm at practice and just didn't know how to practice. You know what I mean? That freshman year, just didn't know how to practice, didn't know, you know what I mean? Like terminologies, like basic terminologies, didn't know all the screen cuts, a down screen, a Iverson screen, you know, fake and stay on defense. Like I didn't know anything, brother. So it was such a learning curve. But at the time when I was at Bentley, you know, I'm just thinking like, yo, I'm killing. You know what I mean? Like I'm killing. So we would do like practices and scrimmages and I would be on the second team, obviously. And I'm, you know what I mean? Like going to work. So in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm getting minutes. I'm getting minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to work right now in practice. Season came around and it was just like, you know, not just the regular end of the game minutes. And I'm just in my head like, yo, what is going on? What am I doing wrong? Like I went to work this week when we scrimmaged, but it was just all the other things, you know what I mean, that I didn't have knowledge of, you know what I mean? So I didn't play. I really started playing my junior year. So I sat 2 years and that was like, it was the hardest thing, man. It was the hardest thing. Like there was times and I thought about, you know what I mean? I called Rome a couple of times like, yo, I talked to this school. They want me to come. They said they'll give me minutes my sophomore year. This is after my freshman year. Like they said they'll give me minutes sophomore year. What should I do? Should I leave? I'm looking up other schools, researching other schools. But, you know, and what it came down to was, you know what I mean? That sophomore year, I just decided, I'm like, all right, you know what? No matter what, I'm staying here. You know what I mean? And I locked in. I ended up staying my sophomore to junior year. I stayed that summer. And all I did was watch film and hoop. You know what I mean? That's all I did that whole summer is watch film and hoop. And then I really picked up, you know, just more knowledge of the game and became a better like student of the game. And once I got my time that junior year, it was just like, all right, yo, this is it. You know what I mean? This is
Exactly.
it. So we went off. But nah, it was a lot of struggles, man. A lot of like in your own head, just thinking like, damn, I hope this shit works out. I hope this works out. I hope this works out. But it did, you know what I mean? And I looking back at it, it was like those 2 years that I sat, it really kind of changed my mindset on basketball and just like, you know, I mean, what it takes to win. You know what I mean? It's not. It was a sacrifice, and that sacrifice went over until my junior year when it's realized like, yo, you're getting 10-5, but you're winning. You know what I mean? You're winning. So that 10-5 was like, instead of, you know, damn, I'm only scoring 10. It's like, nah, yo, you're winning. Nobody's beating you. So I had to look at it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So we talked about waiting your turn, right? And you know what I mean? And sometimes the best teacher are your own 2 eyes. And we don't see it that way early on when we're young, right? We want to be out there. We can't learn. How can I get better if I'm not playing? And we don't understand that sometimes if we watch with these 2 eyes are our best teacher, right? And so now you're playing in a winning program. You didn't go to a school that was on the come up. You went to a winning program. You understand what I'm saying? And so what you understood because of what you watched with those 2 eyes, that by the time you got to study other people, well, what do they do that I'm not doing? All right, I might be better than them, more talented, But
Right.
what are they doing that's getting them on the floor? And then your junior year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because we waited our turn,
Right.
and now it's our time now.
Right.
Now you understand as a junior now, ain't no freshman coming to take your spot either.
Mm-mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So now let's get to the glory of this thing. Talk about that junior and senior run for you at Bentley.
That's listen, man. That was like, it was times when, you know what I mean? Like, and what was funny about Bentley, it was like we never talked basketball. Like off the court, like with my team, we never talked basketball. Like it was weird. Now that I'm thinking about it, like we never talked ball. We never talked about wins. We never did anything. It was like everybody knew, just like, yo, when we lock in, what's your job? Do your job. You know what I mean? And junior year, undefeated. You know, just ran through the whole NE10. It was times when it was like you would like, you know, you look at the paper or something and you'd be like, yo, we really 25-0? Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So junior year, we made it Elite Eight, lost to Winona State, who ended up, I think they won the national championship that year, only loss, right? So then we come back next year, and I think we lost two people. But then we realized we had the core left coming back. You know what I mean? So that senior year, same thing. Looking at the papers, 25, 27-0. Then we get to the Final Four, who we got to face, Winona State again. You know what I mean? And we ended up losing to them in the Final Four, but only 2 losses. So we was like 67-2 in 2 years, and lost to the same team that won the national championship.
Yeah.
So it was one team out there that had our number, man. But nah, those years, man, it was like, and it was just sacrifice on everybody's part. Like, nobody on the team averaged more than 13 points. It was like 13, 12, 12, 11, 10. And everybody knew their role. So it was just, I think that's what it is. If you want to win at any level, you got to sacrifice something. You know what I mean? And that's what, you know, those 2 years taught me a lot. Where it's like, yo, you got to sacrifice. You know what I mean? You got to sacrifice. If you want a team, you got to sacrifice something from yourself for the bigger picture. And that's what we did. And it, you know what I'm saying? We 67-2. Like, that's, nobody take that away from us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't nobody take it from you as a point guard and as a leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's a huge deal. So
Yeah.
the biggest thing for me is, like, you know, you might look at the 67-2 and it sounds really, really good, and that's what I came here for. But I go back to mom saying, listen, Bentley's giving you a scholarship. You need to go. And
Right.
the most important thing, and I'm sure it is, if I ever seen your mom and asked your mom, was you getting that college degree. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. The 67-2 is kind of what you're about while you're there. But when you leave there, 67-2 ain't gonna get you a job. You know what I'm saying? It's the networking that you do there, and the people that you meet there, the culture shock that you talked about when
Right.
you're there, but you understand that why you're there and what Bentley can do for you. So Bentley is not going to Kentucky or Duke or North
Right.
Carolina, but it does so much for you where you're at. Every school's got alumni, every school's got an alumni base, good things, and you graduated with the next plans where you still had that little basketball itch in you and everything like that. So talk about what came after your senior year.
So yeah, I definitely had the hoop dreams. You know what I mean? I want to play professional. I went to I met up with this dude in Boston who was kind of like just becoming an agent, and you know, it was hard because I was 10 point, 5 assists. You know what I mean? Like Division II. So it was, they don't look at the record. They look at the skill level and what you can do. So, you know, I went to a couple of combines. I went to 2 combines. I went to one in, I think it was in, where was it? I think it was in Jersey. I did well. Had like, you know, the local, it was like the Canada teams interested.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to one at VCU, and that was a big one. And I played really well. I had like I had like 2 teams reach out to me. And then my third game in, I had a high ankle sprain. You know what I mean? I'm coming down the court. Somebody got a steal, and I'm running. I'm trying to like tip the ball from behind, and I came down on his ankle. Boom, and I had a high ankle sprain. So like that was my first time dealing with a high ankle sprain. And I came out, got back home, and then I'm out 2 months with a high ankle sprain. Yeah, I'm out 2 months. So then I'm like, oh man, like calling the coaches that reached out to me that before, calling Canada teams like, yo, listen, I'm be back. Missed that whole first year trying to get over. You know what I mean? And me, like I'm always been the type to have the job, work, you know what I mean, while I'm doing the basketball hunt. And I ended up getting a job. And then I'm just thinking like, damn, do I want to chase this or continue to chase this? And you know what I mean? Really, really put in like that time trying to find an overseas spot. You know what I mean? Because if you get in early, if you get in at a spot, you know how it is. Like you're not getting paid. You know what I mean? You're not making real money. You got to work a couple, like 2-3 years to get an actual decent contract. So I was like, you know, I just decided like, I enjoy coaching. You know what I mean? Like I had a spot with my old team with New Leadership Charter School. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go back and coach and work. So I started doing that, and it just kind of changed my whole passion for basketball. You know what I mean? In terms of playing, I was coaching now, and I felt like I was giving. You know, I felt something that I never felt before with giving back to the game. And then after that second year, I just decided like, yo, it's the coaching, training, giving back. And I never tried to get overseas again. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that was it.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So talk about, so you had the college basketball experience, you know what I'm saying? You took that coaching to the D1 level. Describe what that was like for you.
I'm going to be honest, man. It was, the coaches didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? It was just no solid direction on like, and this is my first taste of Division One. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go here. You know what I mean? They're gonna show me the ropes. They threw me in the fire, but they didn't even want to be there. You know what I mean? So it was just a bad look. The athletic director ended up getting fired. So in my head, my whole time through, I'm like, yo, this is not stable. Like, what is going on? I enjoyed it from coaching standpoint in terms of being around the team, being around the players. You know what I mean? But I didn't feel any growth from it. I just felt like I was like, it honestly felt like a step back from Division III when I got there. You know what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm like, yo, I need something more stable. With the AD leaving, so I'm like, normally when the AD leaves, they bring a new AD and he brings in a new coach. So then at that time, I'm looking for other jobs outside of coaching. So I ended up getting on with FedEx, and then I went to a prep school for the next 2 years. But that Division I grind was, I liked it, I enjoyed it, but it's got to be a good situation, man. Right. If you really want to, you know, lock in and commit to it. And I didn't have that, so I had to get out of there, man.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So you talk about, you know, working with FedEx right now and doing well there. And, you know, you coach for a little bit, but then, you know, you started this venture, you know, this City of the Guards. So talk about, give me the backstory. My viewers, give the backstory of City of the Guards and kind of talk about the City of the Guards mission, because you're doing some good work out there.
Yeah. So I mean, I always knew I wanted to give back to Springfield. Like, even if I made money or didn't have money, like, you know what I mean? Ever since I started coaching there in Springfield. Um, so this was about like, this is a while ago, probably like 8 years ago. You know what I mean? I decided like, all right, I'm just going to start with training a couple kids. So when I got gym space, when I was the head coach, you know, I was just inviting Springfield kids in and training them, doing whatever. So then I'm like, all right, let me put a name to it. So then I came up with City of Guards. It's about 8 years ago. Came up with City of Guards, and then I was just training. I was just training under it. And then I'm like, yo, I could do more. I could do more with this. So then I just reached out to all the top players in the city, like my age, and I'm like, yo, let's have a one-on-one tournament. Put a gate at the door, admission, charge admission, and then give it back to a scholarship or free camps or whatever. So I did that first year, and it was a hit. You know what I'm saying? It was a hit. People liked it. The community loved it. It was like almost like 200 people there. You know what I'm saying? So ever since then, that's been like the staple where it's like that one-on-one tournament. I always put that on. But what I do is I just use the funds to I use the funds to give a scholarship out to a local athletic student athlete who's doing the right thing, going on to play college, who can use a little extra money for books, whatever the case may be. And I give a scholarship to them, and then the rest of the money, I just put it into next year and make it bigger. Right. So this was my 6th year this year of doing that. You know what I mean? And it's growing. You know what I mean? It's growing. I'm actually, I'm in Connecticut now. I'm not in Springfield, but I ended up growing it to Connecticut. You know what I mean? So it's interesting, man. It's interesting. I got some things for 2021 that if I was a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, like I would be excited for this stuff that I'm going to do. I'm not going to really say it now because, people be running with your ideas, man. Yeah. Nah, but it's like, it's growing, man. And it's something that I'm passionate about. You know what I mean? It's my baby and just going to keep pushing it and see how far it can go.
Now it's gonna go as far as you want it to go. And I think again, we can take it back to your freshman and sophomore year at Bentley. Like, it's patience. You know what I'm saying? Right. And trust me on that. This thing is patience, and sometimes we need to be slowed down, like this pandemic is doing, and really get down and buckle down and brainstorm so that when it's time to open back up, hopefully 2021. Yeah. You can open back up and do the things that you want to do, but now's the time to kind of put them on paper, and get your ideas out there and brainstorm through it. Yeah. So speaking of 2020, how crazy it's been, we've had this pandemic, which has been crazy, which is unprecedented. But I want to touch on a little bit about this social injustice that we've had going on in our country, and so forth. And if you don't mind sharing, just talk about your feelings on it. We got this election coming up next month. It's crazy. I feel like it's kind of a circus right now, but just talk about where you're at as a young man, because you're a little bit, a lot younger than I am. So talk about your feelings on how you feel when you're out there and everything like that, and raising a child during this time.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important times, man, to just educate yourself. You know what I mean? Do your own education. And that's something that, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say I'm the smartest person out here. I never say that. But in terms of doing research and just being curious, like, and not just reading a headline, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I take pride in, you know what I mean? And I feel like at this time now, that's what you have to do. You have to educate yourself on, social injustice. You have to educate yourself on, you know what I mean, the things that the current president is trying to push, and where you, if you do your extra research, you'll realize it's fluff. Realize it's like there's no behind it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of just like throwing things out there just to make the headlines. And you do the research, you realize, he's not doing anything for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in terms of the Black community, so that's something that I've been, you know what I mean, I've been on for a while, just doing your own research, doing your own, educating yourself really on that. And then in terms of the the police brutality. Like now you got, NBA players, you got everybody pushing that. So I think we can't just let it slip past until another brother dies.
Right.
Got to keep pushing that. And that's kind of where I'm at. Just educate yourself, and really, if you feel a way about something, make it known, put it out there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's certain people within Springfield, certain organizations within Springfield who have a platform, a big ass platform, and they not saying nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, not saying nothing. And it's like, yo, you got a huge platform. You benefit off of the black community, the black athlete. Why ain't you saying something that we stand with you? We support you. You know what I mean? And this is like a big organization within Springfield. So it's like, I feel like at this point, you got to use your voice one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And if you just quiet, it's like, yo, you're quiet for a reason. Somebody must be funding you. Somebody must be doing something where you can't come out and say anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I don't know, man. That's a deep question, brother.
No, it is. No.
A deep question.
Sure we could talk forever. And you're a parent, and you're a parent now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a parent now, and so there's more of a protective mode for you now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for you as a black man, like, you might walk a little different when you walk out the door for yourself, because now it's different, and it's not just about you anymore. It's every time you leave, I got to get back home to my daughter now. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes even that more real for you right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's different. It's real different out there.
I agree.
So
I agree.
As we get ready to wrap this up, man, I like to
get some quick,
I want to get some quick hitters out there.
Okay.
I like to ask. So my first one is, and I'm gonna just get right to it, because you're the one-on-one, right? That's your thing. You're the one-on-one king, right? I want to promote one-on-one right now. So City of the Guards comes back in 2021. We at the Hall of Fame. We got the main court. You get to pick two players right now who you want to see go one-on-one. Anybody in this world that you want. Who would that dream one-on-one matchup that you would want to have at the City of Guards, other guards?
Yo, what's crazy is I was just thinking about, like, who I want to see go at it. And I'm a women's basketball. Like, I enjoy women's ball. You know what I mean? Because I like the you can't rely on athleticism. Mm-hmm. I love that. You know what I mean? You got to rely on your skill. Mm-hmm. So I want to see, like, the girl from Louisville, the freshman from Louisville. I don't know if you ever seen her play. Van Hafen, something like that.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yes.
Her
Haley,
and the girl
Haley's
from
name, right?
Yeah, Haley. And the girl from UConn, Paige Buchers or something.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that matchup. Like, just from I'm a women's ball fan, and they're both dirty. Like, they would give guys a run for their money. So it's like, I would love to see that matchup one-on-one.
Okay. Now I like that answer. So you're a polished kid.
Polished.
So yeah, you polished. So we're gonna have a meeting. We're gonna have a meeting of the minds, right?
All right.
We're gonna have a meeting of the minds. 5 individuals who you would have at that meeting. Anybody, dead or alive. I'm having a meeting of the minds. how we can change stuff in the country, whatever it might be, who are the 5 people that you would have at that meeting?
Damn. Gotta have Barack there.
Okay.
Gotta have Barack. Gotta go Malcolm X.
Okay.
Late Malcolm X before like this is after the brainwash from Elijah.
Yeah.
After the brainwash, you gotta go Malcolm. Who else? Muhammad Ali. Because he was, Muhammad was just, he was ahead of his time, man.
Right.
He was a rapper before like any rapper was out.
Yeah.
Bro, like Muhammad Ali, so that's 3. Who else? Damn, that's tough. 1, 2, 3. Who else? Let me think. Jordan. Gotta have Jordan. Gotta bring the cockiness. He's that. And then Allen Iverson, because that's one of my guys, man. One of my favorite dudes. And I feel like his just competitiveness and all that is just, it's different, brother. It's different with him. So I think that 5.
Okay, I could deal with that. I could deal.
What's yours?
If it was me, if I was gonna have 5, I definitely would have Barack. I'm gonna have Barack. I'm gonna have MLK there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Malcolm there because I need to hear both sides. I need that by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Along with, hey, we gotta think about this first and what the consequences might be. So I need to hear. I need both sides of that. So I got Barack. I got I got Martin. I got Malcolm. I definitely have to have Ali too because I feel like Ali was the first athlete. Like LeBron's doing a lot now, I feel, with his platform right now.
Right.
But like Muhammad Ali gave up everything.
Everything.
He gave up everything in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that's what made him great. More than any heavyweight title or whatever. Like he really gave up. Like he gave up his prime. You know how hard that is to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, will LeBron give up playing for 5 years, right? You know what I mean? Like 25 to 30. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really making a statement. You know what I mean?
Before you do your 5th, can I ask you a question before we get off?
Sure.
All right, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish first though.
So my fifth, and that is a tough question. That's why I ask it and I usually don't have to answer it. But my fifth is Bill Russell. Bill Russell. I got a lot of respect for Bill Russell.
All right, yeah.
A lot of respect.
Bill Russell is he seems like an interesting dude. Man.
Yeah, Bill Russell.
Dude.
No doubt.
Okay, so my question is, do you think it's easier for the athletes to stand up now as opposed to back then? Like, do you feel like it's like do you feel like it's easier? Like for LeBron to come out and say the things he's saying as opposed to when Jordan was coming up? Do you think it's easier now?
I do think so because of social. I think social media makes it easier. You know what I'm saying? Social media makes it a lot easier. Back then, like you talk about Ali and Bill Russell and all these guys, like they were in the thick of it. You know what I mean? And they didn't have social media. You know what I mean? They didn't have social media back then. You had to basically lead with your actions, right? You know what I mean? So Muhammad Ali said, "I'm not going to the war." Well, you're gonna have to arrest me then. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? And he was a heavyweight champion of the world. He couldn't go out and tweet anything or whatever. But I think, with social media in this time, I think these guys like LeBron, Chris Paul, I think they are using the platform the way that it's supposed to be. That's supposed to be used. I think the NBA did a great job in the bubble and, with the social injustice thing. But I think it's a lot easier now. It's a crazy time right now, but we can't say it's a crazier time because it was crazy back then. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But it's crazy, and this is kind of like it's almost reminiscent. Like you kind of feel like we're about to get back to that. whatever happens in November, we feel like we're about to get back to that. And that's the, that's a little scary because you thought like, it's been suppressed for so long and now it's had the opportunity, like to be opened up again. So it's scary. It's scary right now. So, definitely easier, man.
Yeah, and I agree with you because I had that argument with somebody and they were saying that, it's harder now for like, I'm just going to MJ because, that's always the argument where MJ didn't do anything for the Black community. He never said anything. He never did this. And I'm like, yo, it was just a different time. Like it was harder it wasn't the fact that it was harder, but it was like, you didn't have the ability to control your own narrative with your phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron can do. Where he has his million followers where he could just go talk directly to you. MJ had to use, you know what I mean? Whatever he used, his little interview with Ahmad Rashad, whatever the case may be. So I agree with you. I think it's easier now, definitely.
No question about it. And I think what has to happen is like, you have to kind of pave the way for later on, right? So now we're able to, like, when you're one of the first, it's kind of, it's a little tough. Like, maybe now I think MJ is doing more now. I think in retrospect, he feels like, damn, I probably could have done more. Exactly. So now he's doing it now. Like, now he's doing it now. Look, a guy like LeBron, who's, one of the closest things to Michael Jordan as far as fanfare is concerned and globally, can say, I'm going to do more than that. And he can kind of take it to the next level and kind of has the technology. He has the media backing because he has his own media conglomerate. He's got a lot of backing. Like he's doing it a lot differently. So that's a good question though. But last question of the night.
All right.
And I want you to think about this when it's all said and done, because I don't think that you're done yet. I think there's something else out there greater for you right now, and we'll talk about that another time. When it's all said and done, though, how does Yusuf Abdul-Ali want to be remembered?
Damn. I think someone that gives it back. You know what I mean? Whatever it's knowledge or time, experience, like it's someone that pays it back and just like, you know what I mean? That good team player, you know what I mean? Whether your team is a basketball team, your community, whatever the case may be, just something where if you feel, you know what I mean, like you're being blessed with something, which I do feel like me getting a scholarship, putting me in this position and being able to hustle basketball, you know what I mean? Like it put me in a position where I've gained a lot of knowledge where I can go back and help out. So I guess just someone who's, giving back to their community, giving back to other people, and just, charity work, you know what I mean? Making people better and I guess that's it, man. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough
and you got time that answer will expand as you get older, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I said, man, I'm super proud of you. Super proud of you.
Appreciate you,
what you've become and what you're becoming. Like I said, your story's not done. Like it's far from done. It's far from done. But I'm so proud of what you've accomplished so far. I'm proud of the father that you are and the man that you become. I mean that. So thank you for coming and spending some time with me on here tonight, man. I love you. I'm always here for you.
Hey, listen. Same thing to you, man, because this is what? How many episodes is this?
67 now, man.
Yo, you know what I mean? And that's the consistency has been, you know what I mean? I tune in the last like 3-4 Fridays. So I may not be on the whole time, but I tune in, make sure I tune in. So it's like that consistency that you're doing and everything that you're doing with the positive impact, like that's major, brother. And I'm staying tuned. And we had conversations all side of this, so
absolutely. Yeah, we're not done. We're not done. Yeah, exactly. We're not done. All right, brother. I'll talk to you. I appreciate you, baby.
All right. Good luck. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.